Okay, so let me start by saying the day wasn't exactly smooth sailing to begin with. If God was lining us up for a dose of humility, he arranged the day well, but I think it's more likely that we took care of humbling ourselves just fine on our own. Let's get into it. I'm Josh Hughes. I'm saving you time, cash, and sanity as we pursue the next level of video together, and today I think we're focusing in on the sanity part. Here's the setup. My company works with a number of churches in our area, and one of those churches brought us in to install a live stream infrastructure in April. They ordered the gear in March, then the toilet paper disappeared and gatherings were forbidden, and suddenly they wanted to be broadcasting a lot sooner, so I figured we'd use whatever arrived in the mail so far and then just supplement with gear from the Epic Video Kit. We showed up on a Saturday in a room with nothing installed and put together the best rig ever. We had a TV zip tied to a stack of chairs. We had a camera operator running across a line of chairs to replicate a slider, and we had a ladder to our center camera in the middle of the room. We built the bridge out of several tables of varying heights crammed together, and frankly, it all went pretty well. But then, latency. Latency is what you get whenever computers are involved. Basically, they're doing lots of tiny math, and sometimes that tiny math takes more than 0.0 seconds. So even if sound goes in at the right time, there's a short delay before the sound comes out, which doesn't make a huge difference in the live arena because sound is already bouncing off the walls and the drum cages and stuff, but in a live stream, it's possible that the computer does more math on the sound than it does on the video, which creates what we call an offset delay. That's when the sound is either ahead of or behind the video, so it looks like everyone is really poorly lip syncing. With a full band, that's unwatchable. We didn't realize till halfway through the service. I don't have access to those retention graphs, but if I did, I am certain they'd show that everyone had abandoned ship by the time we figured it out. Luckily, this is a solvable problem. Most live stream software has the ability to delay the audio or the video feed, basically adding in more latency so that you can try to sync it back up. So with 100 milliseconds of latency on audio and 10 milliseconds of latency on video, we can add another 90 milliseconds of latency to video to match them up. As long as they're the same, it doesn't really matter how much latency. The audience doesn't hear the room, so they don't know there's a delay, and there's nobody in the room because Marilyn brought out the band hammer. So after that, services went pretty well for the rest of the day, and then everyone air-fived and we went home using different doors. Oh, I do want to take a second and say we followed all of the regulations in our area to the letter. The frequent hand washings, no more than 50 people in the room, a minimum distance of 3 feet from each other. Just take your local authorities seriously, and we'll be back to normal a whole lot more quickly. Okay, I needed a lot of my loaner equipment from that Sunday for other work during the week, so I took it back home with me, and this week we needed to set it up again. So I waited till Thursday to make sure their gear had the maximum amount of time to arrive in the mail. A little bit more arrived, and on Thursday I woke up excited to get to work being a professional who conducts himself professionally and makes few mistakes. And I instantly left my gear bag at home, costing me 15 minutes and the ability to arrive early or on time. I went home, got the thing I needed, hopped in the car, halfway to church, realized I left my Leatherman at home. Now, the Leatherman's not like a huge deal, but I've only ever forgotten it 3 times in my life, and 2 of them have been working with this church. They're like that parental figure that you just can't get anything right in front of. Anyway, I roll up fashionably late and I begin loading in gear. Turns out their cameras didn't arrive in the mail like we'd hoped, so I turned around and left to go get mine. Another hour in the car. Showed back up, loaded back in, and then we brought in these awesome handmade camera platforms that a volunteer built. We got those in place, threw the cameras on top, and had to figure out how to make the varying lengths of already terminated SDI cable that we had reach to all the cameras we needed to reach. Worked that out with math, compromise, and tears, and then got the news that we could only have 10 people in the building this weekend. So me and 3 camera operators plus a 7-piece band is already 11 people. Everybody had to compromise. I had to tell some of my guys to stay home. The band cut a few people. Some roles in the bridge got consolidated, and we split the service across 2 rooms so that there will be no more than 2 people in a room. Each room had a separate entrance and exit. We've got clearcom packs, so we were able to talk over the headset. And then we get to the shiny new camera control unit, and it won't talk to the switcher. I have no idea why. We narrowed it down to a DHCP error. We didn't solve the problem. We just went without it for now. That'll be a service called a Blackmagic Design Sunday soon, assuming they stay open. We get all the tools in place, and we work around the tools that don't work, and then we solve a number of other challenges. This switcher had only 1 aux, so we couldn't color correct every camera. We had to triage and pick one. I didn't have a tripod plate that fit the screws for this camera, so I mounted it right to the tripod. This camera had the wrong lens, and I didn't have time to get the right lens, so we mounted it to like a million feet from the subject, and it won't have a tally light. I needed less operators. We needed to make white text work for the lower third graphics and make that readable, which we solved by stealing a page from Bethel's playbook and faking the anamorphic look, and then several other issues. We also waited in the drive-thru line that wrapped the whole way around Chick-fil-A. You retail and food service industry folks are the real MVPs right now, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So we finally got all the pieces together, and it was time for rehearsal. I was switching between the various camera angles just, for peace of mind of the client so they could see the kind of look and feel. We could check the offset delay, make sure that was fixed, all those kind of things. So we rehearsed it kind of like the real thing, which turned out to be good because it was the real thing. Somewhere along the line, somebody accidentally hit the go live button without setting the stream we were testing to private or unlisted, which is how we ended up with this.
Can you give me a little more Jim in my ears? That's the problem. I can't hear you very well.
Chris Foley, what's he calling about?
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? Hey. I am in practice right now. Why? I'm on live stream. There's 22 people watching us flip out on stage. Hey, everybody.
Stay humble, friends. We're all doing our best and we're gonna make mistakes. Luckily, we didn't say anything compromising on camera, but it was still pretty silly and a great opportunity to nervous laugh at ourselves after a stressful day of trying to be perfect. Take a deep breath, do your best, and let's get through this together. Just like last time, I'll see you next time.